Oh, yeah.
Do you see the slide? The PPT?
Yes, Dr. Wise.
Okay, it's all right. Okay, how are you, everyone?
We are
Thank you,
fine,
Dr.
sir.
And you?
Yeah, can we proceed? Oh, I had your concern about the first slide. The second slide about demand, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me proceed with the theory of production.
Mhm.
Thereafter, we will see. We can find another time. Then we can leave. I can a bit check. We can a bit check the second slide regarding demand. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, doctor.
So for today, let us proceed about theory of production.
Okay.
But actually the previous session you had well, right? After
Yes.
setting this,
Yes, we had well.
yeah. How is the network now? Do you hear me well?
Very well.
Perfect.
Yes. Very good.
Okay, let us proceed about the theory. This is another topic. It's about the theory of production. After finishing the theory of production, we will proceed on the cost theory. So when we talk about production, we can simply define as a process of transforming inputs into what? Into output. When we say inputs, these are factors of production. In order to produce the final output, you need to have those factors of production. Factors of production it can be land, it can be labor, it can be capital, entrepreneurship. Right? Previously, we had only 3 factors of production, but thereafter they added one more, entrepreneurship or entrepreneur. Because this entrepreneur, this is just a person who coordinates all those factors of production. You may have land, you may have labor, you may have capital, but if you don't have entrepreneur, you cannot achieve, right? That's why we have 4 factors of production. Factors of production need to have a proper coordination. You get the point? So when we say output, these are products derived from production process, right? For example, when you are producing, when you want to produce, let's say oil, you need the raw materials, you need the factors of production, which are land, labor, you need the people, you have to employ people in order to produce what? You need the raw materials in order to produce the final output, which is the oil. You get it? So oil output is the final products, right? So production process is carried out by firms normally, right? When we produce, producers or firms normally undergo what? Wanna take your process. A firm is defined as a unit of production that takes decision with respect to production and sales. Go in short, before this is just an introduction about the theory of production. You need to understand the meaning of production. You have to know those factors of production. When you talk about production, you have to know those factor inputs, which are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurs. And when you talk about the final products or outputs, you cannot ignore factors of production. And you have to know that production process is always undertaken by what? By producers or by a firm. Okay? So this is just a simple function. Production is a function of capital, land. Of course, there are other factors, but this one it is just an expression. That means production or QS is a function of capital, which K means capital. We need the capital in order to produce, right? Also, you need labor. That's how it is, right? So now let's see. In this production, we are going to see the concept of short run production, and we will see the long run production. So when you say short run production, it's defined as is defined to be that period of time in which some of the firm's inputs are fixed. For example, when you start investment, you need to think about land, right? You need to think about capital, that's investment capital. That is a short run production. Initially, you have to buy land, you have to buy capital. So you can simply illustrate this one in the curve. For example, let's see this table here. For example, you want to invest in agriculture. Unataka ulime. You need to buy a land. Let's say 1 acre. This land is fixed. So, regardless of production or producing, at level 1, you will have that level of hectare. Yani, haijalishi unazalisha kiasi gani, but land is what? Land is fixed. Oh, sorry. Let me use this. Yeah. What I'm trying to say, land is what? It's just just 1 acre. But labor, this labor can vary. For example, initially at this stage, you don't need to employ people. You just bought a land and you don't produce, right? That is initial stage. And you don't produce anything because there is no person who can produce, there is no production. TP is total output. But if you start employing people, let's say you employ 1 labor, right? Kwa mfano 1 person can produce how many? Can produce 3 output. If you employ, let's say 4, 5. If you employ 5 persons, this column is for labor. And then this column is what? This column is for labor. This is for labor. Hello? Can you put Kenge?
Yes.
Yeah, just don't talk, please. You are interrupting here. So this column is just, the more you employ, the more you produce, right? This is total product. But the land is what? Land is fixed. Niyo eka haibadiliki. So in the short run, when you say in the short run, we normally, some of the factors are fixed, like land. Sawa, kama mlivyoona, hali ziko vile vile. But what changes is just ile nini tulikuwa tunabadilisha pale ni labor, sawa? Maanake we were trying to employ, tulikuwa tunajaribu kuajiri watu, sawa? For example, initially you didn't have any person. That means the output was 0. After employing one person, you were able to produce what? 3 output. 2 persons, you get 7. And so on. Paka ulipoajiri mtu wa 15 alikuwa na uwezo wa kuzalisha output ngapi? But land is what? Is fixed. So when you say the concept of short run production, that means one factor must be what? Fixed. That means it doesn't change. Umeelewa? Kama ni capital itabaki hiyo hiyo. Okay. Now let's see, before this table, in production, there are some concepts you have to understand. We have total product. This is the total amount of goods what? Produced. This is a total amount produced over a particular period, right? But when you talk about average products or APL, you have to take the total product divided by what? Kwa mfano, sawa? Let me show you something here. For example, let's say the total output, labda you have 100 what? Bags. Sorry. Umeajiri watu wangapi? Let's say 10. Sawa. Kwa maana average product ni sawa sana kuchukua ile total product divide by what? By the number of people you employed. Because you had 100 what? Total output. You have to divide by number of what? Number of people you employed. Kwa maana hiyo average product here is what? What is the average product?
It's 10.
Yeah.
10.
That's the meaning. So when you say average product, you have to take the total product divided by the number of people you employed in order to get the average. Likely, when you talk about the marginal product, this one here, you have to take the changes in what? Changes in output, changes in labor. The change in the total output resulting from the use of one more or less use of. For example, let's see this table here. You see this table? Initially,
Yes, you see it.
You see it, right?
Yes. Yeah.
For example,
yeah, we see it.
Initially, this is land, 1 acre of land. You had any person employed. Sawa? That means you don't produce here, right? The average product is 0, obviously, and the marginal product is what? Is 0. There is nothing at all. Then when you employ 1 person, so the output is what? These are just estimated amount. The output is what? 3. So the question is, what is the marginal? The average product here is what? Average product, you have to take what? 7
over 2.
Over 3. Over 2. Yeah, because the number of people is up. So if you divide by 2, you get what? You get 3.0. Likely, similarly, for example, if you take this level here, here, if you employ, let's say 11 people, and the output is what? 74, means you have to take 74 divided by what? 11. By 11. Get 6.2. That is the average. That is the average product. In terms of marginal product, just take change. Change in what? Just take change. Product. Yeah. For example, let's see here. From here to here, right? From here to here. We want to get the marginal product at this level. So, manake you have to check the change. Change in what? In total product. What is the change in total product here? Is 3. And what is the change here is 1, right? That means you have to take 3 divided by 1. You get what? You get 3, right?
Yeah.
Now, if, for example, if you want to get the marginal product here, what should you do here? That means you have to check the changes from here to here, right? From 59, the output from 59 to 65, and from 80 to, you get it. So that means 65 minus 59 is what? Is 7. Or is 6, right?
MPL is the marginal product.
Yeah, 65 minus 59 is what? Is 6. Then it divided by 1 more. From here to, from 8 to 9, there is 1 more change, right? So that means 7 divided by 1 is 6 divided by 1, you get what? And so on. Yeah, that's how you can get the marginal. So by definition, when you say marginal product, this is a change in the total product resulting from the use of 1 more. Just 1 more, you get it? 1 more units of the variable, what? We just consider the variable factor, which is what? The variable factor is labor. Land is not the variable factor. Land is a fixed what? Land is a fixed factor. Or you can differentiate. Marginal product, sometimes you differentiate total product with respect to what? With respect to labor or L. That's what you can fill this blanks. Okay. Note things here. The average product curve.
Marginal.
Okay, you can just simply illustrate the curve, the table above, by using a table, like by using a graph like this. This x-axis is for what? This is for labor, and this is for. You have 2 factors of production. You have capital and what? Yeah, you have labor, and this is a product so far. You see this dot here, the dotted line here.
Labor na nini? The product.
This is the total product. Why the curve is sloping up?
Marginal product.
Hello, Lukuba, you're interrupting here. Oh. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. So what I'm trying to say, this curve here is for total what? Total product. Total product, as you see here, as you increase number of labors, the production is also what? Increasing. Because the relation is somehow what? Is positive. The more you increase number of workers, the more the output. So you can see here. And this one here is the dotted line is marginal. You can just sketch by yourself and then you see the relationship. What I'm trying to say here is that
Excuse me, doctor. If you can go back to the how to calculate the marginal product. Sorry.
yeah, here, right?
No, at the back. Yes, there.
Yeah, okay. I'm listening. What is your question then?
The question here is how did you get the MPL? Sorry.
This column here?
Yes, yes.
The MPL, by definition, is what? Is a change in the total product divided by change in what? In the labor. Okay? You see this formula here. Marginal product is a change in the total product by the change of one more or less unit of labor. One more or less unit of what? Of labor. So at each level, you have to compute what? The marginal product. For example, let's see at level 6 here. If we employ 6 labor, that means you have to check the change from 5 to 6. From 5 to 6, that means we employed one more, right? And what was the output? Because I'm looking the marginal product at level 6. At level what? I have to check the change in the total product. What is the change in total product here? Change in total product, you have to take the difference between this one and the previous. What is the previous value? Is 35, right? So 35 to 44. What is the difference here? Is what? Is 9.
9.
And from 5 to 6, the difference is what?
1.
1. And what the formula says? The formula of the marginal product is what? Change in total product. That means from 35 to 44. The change is 9, right? Divided by the change in labor, which is 1. So just divide 9 divided by what? You'll get what?
1.
Yeah, you'll get 9. Okay, you can just review it. You understand? So
Yes, I do.
So, but what do you observe in this table here? What do you observe by looking at this, for example, this column by observation? The marginal product, the average product is increasing, right? The more the labor, if you increase labor, also the average product is also increasing, right? 4, 6, 7, 7.0. But there is a point where the average product is what? Is diminishing or decreasing. The more you increase labor, the less average product could be. You get it? Similarly, even the marginal product, initially, if you increase the number of labors, the marginal product is also increasing. But there is a point, at this point here, the marginal productivity is also what? Start diminishing. Will you see the law of diminishing marginal return? Okay? In a simple logic, if the land is fixed, right? There is a point. If you just continue employing people by looking the average productivity of one person, the average will decline. You have to check the level that is maximize your. What can I say? There is a point where the average product of one person will decline. The more you increase people, the average productivity of one person will also decline. Likely even the marginal productivity declines. So you have to check the efficiency point of production. You get the point? You don't need just to employ people, right? What you have to know as a manager, just see which point will maximize what? Output with the low cost. Because the more you employ people, the more cost you incur, right? Sasa mwingine unakuta una shamba lako kwa mfano, or you have a fixed asset. You just employ people without considering the marginal effect and the average what? Effect. So, by looking, you may see the output is more, but when you consider in the marginal productivity perspectives, that means there is less what? There is a diminishing return. Okay? So this has a meaning. So as a manager, you have to consider the average product and the marginal what? Marginal productivity. Actually, the marginal productivity is the best way to, this is the maximum level. So this is the diminishing marginal return here. We are going to see the definition. This is a level where, as a manager, you have to employ only 4. Okay? You have to employ what? Only 4 labor. So, because the more you employ, the less you get. Despite you have huge amount of profit or what? Products, but in terms of marginal productivity, you are gaining less. So, actually, we are going to, there are some computation. We see how do we get the marginal, the optimal level of, there is a level that you need to employ. You don't need just to employ, but you need to see where is the optimal level of factor input that give you more profit and less cost. You get it? Kwa sababu hapa by looking unaona kama output ya 80 ina faida, but in the real sense ukiajiri watu 4 you get more. So even if you are getting 25 bags, but it's more than getting 80 bags because the marginal productivity is here is less. You get it? Okay, let's proceed. The average product curve, as I was explaining, raises, but reaches a maximum, and then what? And then fall, right? Likely, the marginal product of the curve labor also raises, and it reaches a point. It's then what? In a fall. So, as we have seen in the figure and ISO computation. So, this was just this curve is this figure is extracted from the table. The law of diminishing return states as additional units of variable factor are added to a given quantity of a fixed with a given state of technology, the marginal product of the variable will eventually what? Decline. This is the law of diminishing marginal return. So, there is a point when you add more labor as a variable factor, there is a point where it will eventually what? Decline. Likely when the law of diminishing average return, there is a point where as you increase the number of labor or factor inputs, there is a point where average product reaches a maximum and then it what? It declines. That's what I was trying to explain.
Excuse me, Doctor, I have a question there.
Okay.
What if the demand is high?
That's an explanation in order to understand the concept. Where should you decide to produce? Which level is the optimal level? That's why as economists, we are having the formulas, how to get the optimal level. So by looking here, you can see 4, but in our concept, as we say, if the demand is high, also there is a way how to, for example, what I'm saying, for example, here, you can see the marginal product eventually become the negative, meaning that the firm could reach stage. Let's see, there are some stages of production. Sasa zile stages of production, nadhani ndo zinaweza zikajibu swali lako. Sawa? Stages of production, we have 3 stages. We have stage 1, we have stage 2, and we have stage what? 3. Depending on those situations, like what we are saying, demand and what, right? So the decision what to produce depends on the factors, sawa, as what you say. But what matters is that level of production based on the factor inputs or factors of what? Or production. For example, when you say, for example, at stage 1, right? At stage 1, normally the marginal product is greater than what? Marginal product is greater than what? Average product. And the average product is increasing. So, at stage 2, marginal product is what? Less than the average what? Product. But the marginal product is greater than 0. At stage 3, marginal product is less than what? 0. That means the marginal product is negative. Si ndo maana? Sasa tukirudi kwa mfano, let's go back to our table here. Let's go back to our table here. Sawa? At stage 1, we say marginal product is greater than what? Average product. This is the average product. Sasa kwa mfano ukiangalia hapa, hii si ndo average product Sawa. We want to range this one. And this is what? This is the marginal product. But stage 1, marginal product is what? Greater than what? For example, sorry. Marginal product is greater than average what? Is greater than average product. Sasa niambieni, can you tell me where is stage 1 here of production? For example, here is 3. Here is what? 3. Here is 3.5. The marginal product is what? Is 4. Here is so from here, marginal product is greater than. Marginal product is greater than what? Average product. So from here, right? From here to here. Ngoja kwanza. From here to here, marginal product is greater than average what? Hapo simeiona hiyo?
Ndio.
Hizi za marginal product
Yes.
ni ndogo kuliko marginal what? Marginal product here is greater than average what? Product. This is level 1. This is what? This is level 1. Sawa. Lakini level 2, marginal product is less than what? From here, this is 7. This is 7.3 what? Yeah, so from here to na kuendelea mpaka hapa, this is level what? This is level 2. Si ndo manake? This is level 2. Stage number 2. Lakini if marginal product is less than 0, manake zitakuwa ni negative na kuendelea. Thereafter it is negative. So, the decision what to produce always, yani sasa where to produce it depends. Lakini you cannot produce when the marginal revenue is less than 0. So, you cannot produce when marginal revenue is less than average what? Product. Mara nyingi tuna produce kuanzia hapa na kwenda mpaka maximum. That's why ile point ya optimization, we normally say marginal product must be equal to marginal what? Cost. Tutakwenda kuzicompute. That's the best way. Ngoja tutaziona vizuri. But what I'm trying to see, to tell you, those levels of what? Of what? Production. So, but this table, kuna kitabu fulani kwa nakitumia hapa, nadhani nilimwambia hata CR wenu. If you are interested, you can just take it. This example is in the book. So you can just see it by Professor Manamba. Kwa hiyo kipo, you can just check it au ka review kwenye hizo notes zako. Okay? Kwa hiyo tukiendelea, those stages, marginal product is greater than it. That is the first stage. The second stage we have seen, lakini the third stage, total product is what? Is declining. So now to check the boundaries. Sasa you can compute to check what? Zile boundaries au boundaries. You can set marginal product is equal to 0, sawa? To solve for labor But the question I was trying to explain before, where do you decide to, if, I mean, as a manager, you can have your choice. What number of labor do I need to employ? Sasa, you can set marginal product is equal to 0. This is the maximum. So, why do I set this one? Na set hii ili nijue the maximum number of workers. Kwa mfano hapa, sawa? Unaona hii table hii? The marginal product here is what? Is 0. Kwa maana yake, if I set the marginal product here Menipata? If I set the marginal product is equal to 0, that means I have to employ how many people? 15.
Yes, 15.
But the question, is this the efficiency level of production? Haiwezekani, sawa? This means that kama kampuni au kama ni firm, sitakiwi kuajiri watu zaidi ya wangapi? 10 na ngapi? 16. 15, sawa. Manake if I employ 16, the marginal product will be minus. Sawa? Umenielewa? Kwa hiyo I can employ 15, but this 15 still questionable. Sio kwamba ndio inaweza ikawa inakupa faida kubwa sana. Kuna assumptions, lakini okay, tutakwenda kuziona hapo. What I'm trying to say, to check the boundaries. Hapa tunaangalia mipaka ya watu ambao wanaweza ukawaajiri, ambao hawawezi wakakupa hasara. You get it? You have to set the marginal product is equal to what? To 0 in order to solve for what? For L. Or in order to save L for the maximum. Yani usolve maximum total what? Product. Manake ni kwamba if we employ more than 15, instead of getting 8 bags, sawa, utaanza kupata nini? Minus. Ile total product itaanza kupungua at the end of what? Of stage 2. Sawa? But you can set also average product is equal to marginal product to find the point where stage 1 and the stage 2 what? Interact. Kwa mfano hapa, sawa? Kwa mfano hapa tumeona kuna stage 1 na kuna stage 2, sawa? Na kuna stage 3. Lakini stage hizi lazima tuone where marginal average product and the marginal product what? Zinafanyaje? Zinakutana. Okay. Sawa. Let's see an example here. This is just a simple example. Mfano, wait. Sorry. Kuna kitu hapo nafikiri hakija. Example. Okay, it's okay. For example, you have given the equation, the marginal product equation is what? Kwa mfano, marginal product of labor is what? Is equal to 0. This is the equation. Amekupa hichi kitu, sawa? Anakwambia marginal product is equal to what? You can easily find. Ngoja. Wait. Unaweza ukatafuta sorry.
Leo imekuwa ngumu sana. Leo imekuwa ngumu sana.
Ngoja, wait. Sawa. Kwa mfano, you have given this equation, sawa? For example, marginal product amekupa ngapi? Is what? Is 2 plus 0. Mnaweza mkanitajia?
0.8 labor minus 0.06 labor square
minus
0.006 labor square.
Labor square, sio?
Yes.
Now just set marginal product is equal to what? I want to get the maximum what? The maximum number of labor. Sawa, ile kiwango cha mwisho cha watu ambao naweza nika-employ, sawa? So by substituting, instead of writing MP, you have to just write what? So 2 point what? 0.8, so L minus 0.006 L square. Sawa? Sasa if you set it, you will find yourself unapata kitu kama hichi. Sawa? Kwa sababu here what you do by computation, what can I say?
Umedivide na lowest hiyo number kwa kila moja.
Yeah, ndo naangalia hapa. Nataka niweke katika, you can put it in the form of, in a quadratic form, sawa?
Yeah.
Baadaye ukiflight this way, sawa? Labda tuanze na 0 point what? 006 L square, sawa? Then minus, nataka niziweke on the right hand side, sawa? Na 0 point what? 0.8 L, okay? Minus what? Minus 2. Is equal to what?
0.
Sasa just divide by 0.00 what?
60.
Both. If you divide by 0.006, you get how much?
But divide it.
Yani gawanya kwa 0.006 both side, pande zote. Manake you get what? Hapa wengine
hiyo 0.8 ni 0.8
iko wapi?
Hii 0.8 hapo ni 0.8 gawanya 0.06.
Yeah, gawanya 0. Yeah, we get how much?
Mapata 133.33. Najiuliza imekwaje hapa sasa. Kuna minzi hapa.
Kuna namna
Hatuwezi kuziconvert kutoka kwenye decimal process kuja kwenye namba za kawaida.
Okay, it's okay. What you can do, jaribu kuzidisha 1000 kila namba. Of course, yani unaweza kaenda hivyo, lakini pia
Dr. haupati 133, unapata 13 decimal.
Sasa what you can do here, baada ya kufanya hivyo, zidisha kwa sababu 0.006 multiply by 1000, two ways of decimal places, kila sehemu zidisha kwa 1000.
Hapa imeenda
kila upande, tutapata ngapi hapa?
Lazima tuzidishe ili tuziondoe kwenye decimal places kuwa namba za kawaida.
Zidisha mara 1000. Hapa tutapata 6, 6L square. Minus what?
Minus 8.
800. Yeah.
Minus what? 2000.
Yeah.
So is equal to 0. Sasa that is another way you can do. Hata ile ambayo tulikuwa tunataka kufanya is also another way, sawa? But this is the simplest. So by quadratic equation,
Hapo ni minus 80 L, not 800.
Minus 80. Wait,
Yeah.
wait. Is it?
No.
Samba na 8 basi.
800.
Nane hiyo hiyo.
Okay, fine.
Alisahau zero hiyo.
You remember that formula, quadratic equation? If you
Yes.
have x square plus what? Bx
X
plus
plus
c equal to 0. Ile formula quadratic, ngoja niwapitishe hapa. Ile formula inasemaje? Ngoja niandike hapa.
Quadratic.
Equal to what?
X is
AB plus C.
B plus minus.
Inasema
Hiyo sio B plus au minus. B
hii hapa. Sawa.
minus square.
You
Hii.
don't press. Okay, this is the equation. So, if you have this kind of form, the equation, x represent what? Hii inaweza kawa yellow, sawa? Sawa? Manake you have to take minus b plus or minus under root b square minus 4. This is just for guidance. But our equation is what? Hii ndo tumeipata. This one here.
Yes.
Sawa?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
just put it in a quadratic form, assuming that this is your x is your arrow, right? Kwa hiyo
Yeah.
manake ni if you substitute our a is what? Here our a is what? A ni 6.
6.
Alafu our b is minus what?
800.
800.
And our c is what?
Negative
what?
2,000.
Negative 2.
2,000 negative.
Sawa, just substitute. If you substitute, then utapata majibu mawili kwa sababu that is a quadratic. Sawa? Utapata majibu mawili. Why do I say majibu mawili? Because our b is minus 800. Sawa? Manake ni kwamba ile 800 hii b ilikuwa ni sorry. It was just
Negative
800 was negative.
yeah, substitute hapo. Yeah, it's obvious. Utapata 135 na hii hapa. Sawa? Manake hapa kuna minus hapa. Sababu ile b ilikuwa ni 800 au? Yeah.
Yeah, 8.
Yeah, 800 somewhere. Em tujaribu computer. Calculator. Plus under square to 24.
Umeandika mwenyewe mstakimu? Mfundishe.
6. Yeah, but sorry, I forgot to write 8 minus 8 here. Waja nisije nikawachanganya. There is minus here, right? Hapa ndani, sawa. That b should be minus. You get the point? Hii 800 is not 800, it is negative what? Yani the quadratic equation is, you get it, minus b plus plus, but what is b? B is minus what? 800, sawa? Kwa maana yake 80 minus b times minus 800, maana yake this one, hii hapa lazima we negative hapa. You can put a minus here, sawa? But at the end of the day, these are what? So you have L1 and you have what? L2. Sawa? So the marginal product, if you said the marginal product is equal to 1, this implies that you have to employ 135 what? You have to employ 135 labors. This is the end of stage what? You remember when I say stage 2, the marginal product is less than what? than 0. Manake ukiemploy, if that, what does it mean? This means if you employ more than 135 people, you are going to get a loss. Are we together?
Yes.
In summary, this is just a summary. Kwa hiyo level 2
Samahani kidogo hapo.
Naam.
Kwenye ile table yetu ile turudi. Table yetu ile ya mwanzo yenye average product yenye
I skipped this one. I skipped this one. Sawa. Sasa previously we were trying to see the maximum, the end of stage 2 by taking marginal product is equal to 0, right? Now let's see the point where average product is equal to marginal product. So if you set the average product is equal to marginal product, what is the average product? You need to be very careful here. Sawa? Let us see. We know marginal product is what? Marginal product ilikuwa ngapi? Sorry. Our marginal product was, our marginal product was 2 plus what? What is the marginal product? Our marginal product was 2 plus
Sorry, sir, can you repeat the question?
Wait, sorry. Marginal product mnaweza mkanitajia hapo?
2
Tulikuwa na
plus 0 plus 8.
2 plus
0.8 labor.
0.8.
0.8 L.
No. Alafu plus
minus 0.0006 L square.
square. You remember we want to set average product is equal to marginal what? Product. Now just find the average product. Sawa? Average product ni sawa na nini? Formula. You remember the formula? What is the average product?
Total product over labor.
Total product over labor.
Yeah.
Total product over labor.
What is this? Wait, sorry. Okay, is equal to total product divided by what? By labor. Sawa? Before solving, these formulas are very important. So what does it mean? Do we have average product?
We can get by differentiating the equation.
Do we have the average product? No, it's actually, what is total product here? Total product manake is equal to L times what? Average what? Product.
Yeah.
It's
Hapo
like
umezidisha.
Ngoja kwanza. Kuna kitu hapa. Kuna kitu naangalia hii swali. Sorry. Hii swali hatukupewa average product wewe. Total product. Ngoja. Wait.
Hajatoa kwenye hii state, kwenye hili example sijaona kama kuna total product.
Ngoja. Ndio nataka niangalie hapa. Ndio nataka ni check hiyo. Nadhani that question is missing something. Hili swali hili. Where the maximum total product. Kuna kitu hapa nadhani ya kijana nini. Hebu naomba tuandike hiyo total product hapo. Mnaweza mkanitajia? Wait. Wait. Total product amekupa ngapi? I'll cross check it. Total product. Wait. 2 plus 0.4. Let me check in my stat. Nania. Okay. So I have seen my slide here. Total product hii tulikuwa tumepewa, you can just take it. Ilikuwa ni 2L plus 0.4L square. Ngoja niandike vizuri. Nita update hizo point hapa. You are given total product is equal to 2L plus 0.4L square minus 0.002L cubic. You are given this one, the total product. Take note of that. Sawa? Mmechukua hiyo?
Sawa.
Total product is 2L plus 0.04L square minus 0.02L cubic. Kwa maana yake ni kwamba average product is equal to what? Maana yake average product is equal to total product divided by what? Divided by L. Kwa hiyo you have to take that total product ambayo ni 2L minus, ngoja nifanye. Total product, average product is equal to total product divided by what? By L. But what is total product? Is 2L plus 0.4
L square.
L square
Minus
0.002L cubic. So
Yeah.
divided by what?
By L.
By L. Divided by L. So you just divide by L both sides. Na manake average product will be what? 2 L na L plus what?
0.4.
0.4 L, then minus what? 0.0 L square. Sawa. Kwa manake you have to take this average product, unailete na nini? Just relate it with what?
Margin.
Yeah, we want to know the level where average product is equal to marginal what? Product. Kwa manake just put, kwa marginal product equation you put it, and the average product equation you put it. Ukiziarrange vizuri, at the end of the day you will get L is what? Why do we compute? the question, why do we want to know APL is equal to MPL? This is the end of level what? Kwa sababu the end of level 1 of level 2 ni pale ambapo marginal product, average product is equal to marginal what? Product. Manake kama ukiangalia hapa, sawa? Kwa mfano ukiangalia kwenye level yetu hapa. Sorry. Yani we have 3 stages. Tuna stage ngapi? 3. Stage ya kwanza ni pale ambapo marginal product is equal to less than what? 0. Lakini stage ya pili inaishia pale ambapo average product is equal to marginal what? Marginal product. What does it mean? What does it mean having this 100 here? Manake end of stage 2 ni ngapi? 100. Sawa, ukisoma vizuri hapo utapata hilo ni 100. So this is the start of kianzia stage 2 mpaka ile ya mwisho, manake we need to employ kuanzia watu 100 mpaka 100 na ngapi? 30 ngapi? 35. That is the, starting from 100 to hapo itakuwa ndio hivyo, sawa? But if you employ more than 135, manake utakuwa unatengeneza nini? Loss. This is the kind of there from 100 kushuka chini, manake hiyo itakwenda mpaka stage what? 0. You get it? Well, that's how you can summarize it. Now let us proceed. Sasa in this production, theory of production, there is one thing which is very important. There is what we call Cobb-Douglas production function. This production function was established by one guy called Cobb and Douglas, 1988. This guy established a model which can estimate the output using what? This kind of formula. After employing capital, labor, he just established this kind of equation in order to compute some of the output. So this is a very common production function. So this is L means labor, K means quantity of capital used. Capital may be machinery, plants, or other things. But Y represents the output. And the A, this is what? This is technology.
Recording
actually.
in progress.
This is technology. Okay? And the alpha and the beta, this is the elasticity of what? Elasticity of output. What does it mean? How much of output change when the capital, let's say, increases by something? Well, this is when you say alpha and beta, this is an elasticity of output. In what magnitude does the output change when you increase, let's say, capital? In what magnitude does the output increase when you increase labor? So this is the magnitude of change. So, or sometimes we call it elasticity of output with the response to capital and the labor. A means a technology, or sometimes you can call it a total factor productivity. So, because it's not only labor, capital, but there are also other factors, kama technology na vitu kama. So, sometimes you normally call it, this is a total factor productivity. Ile A. Sometimes you can call it even a technology or efficiency of change. Sawa. This was just an example, lakini Y is a physical homogeneous unit. I've already explained. Labor, this is a homogeneous unit. This capital, so this is what? K can be machinery or any other things. Hizo ni vitu ambazo I was trying to explain. But what is necessary here is some calculations regarding to marginal productivity. Marginal product using that formula. Hayo wanaita Cobb-Douglas. CDCF means Cobb-Douglas production function. So, it is calculated by first derivative of differentiation. Sasa kwa mfano, this is given equation. Sawa? And sometimes, sasa sijajua, when you want to plot, when you want to, ngoja niwarudishe kwenye concept moja hapa. Tulisema marginal product ni sawa sana change ya nini? Ya total product.
Total product divided change ya labor.
Everyone is aware about that. Sawa? Or sometimes unaweza kasema marginal product is equal to derivative of total what? Total product, una differentiate ile total product with respect to what? To labor. Sawa? When you say D, derivative means you have to differentiate equation with respect to what? Sawa? Kwa mfano, I don't want to go straight there. Like, for example, y, let's say y ikiwa, let's say k alpha L beta. This y means output, this is k capital, and the L is what? Is labor. Sasa anakwambia find what? For example, find the marginal product of what? Of labor. What does it mean? If you are given this kind of equation, manake there is no numbers here. You have to differentiate it. So, marginal product, go to that formula. You have to differentiate total product. What is total product? You differentiate y. My total product is what? So you differentiate. Sawa. Ngoja niandike who is talking there. So let's say let's out one q hapa ili so I have to differentiate q which is quantity. Sawa. Na I differentiate with respect to what? Because I'm looking for marginal productivity of what? Of labor. Manake I have to differentiate this one with respect to what? To labor. Sawa. Likely nikikuuliza tafuta marginal product of capital, manake I have to differentiate quantity with respect to what? To capital. Get the point? Sasa, for example here, let's see. We have quantity. Quantity is equal to what? K alpha L beta. What is the marginal product of labor? Manake hapa na formula to differentiate. I told you last time. Sawa? This is just a revision. If I'm differentiating this one with respect to what? With respect to labor.
To labor.
Not capital. Manake hii capital itabaki nini? You don't unaiacha kama ilivyo, sawa? Sasa ukidifferentiate with respect to L, andika L hapa, sawa? Alafu hii beta uilete wapi? Uilete huku, sawa? Alafu hii beta juu minus what? You remember? Yeah. Manake marginal product of labor ni sawa na beta K alpha L beta minus what?
Minus 1.
That is a marginal product of what? Labor. What about marginal product of capital? Manake I have to hold this one constant. Hii labor inabaki kama ilivyo because I'm differentiating with respect to what? To K. If I'm differentiating with respect to K, manake itakuwa ni K alpha lazima nitoe na ngapi?
Moja.
Alpha na moja, lakini alpha ije wapi? Ije hapa. That is the marginal product of capital, and that is the marginal product of what? Of labor. Are we together?
Yes.
Yeah, kwa hiyo it is like that. Kuna vitu wanaita return to scale. Return to scale, mara nyingi tunaangalia ni kiwango cha nini? Let us now find out the implication of return to scale using the Cobb-Douglas production function. So, kabla sienda huko, take note of this. If alpha, we have three types of return to scale. Return to scale inaweza ikawa increasing, ikawa decreasing or constant. Hapa tunaangalia kiwango cha mapato au cha output kilichoongezeka. When you say return to scale is increasing, manake if you take alpha plus beta is equal to what? If this one is greater than what? Than 1. So decreasing manake utasema iko decrease if alpha plus beta is less than what? Less than 1. And if it is constant, manake alpha plus beta is equal to what? Is equal to 1. Sasa for example now, let's say, example, amekupa Cobb-Douglas production, let's say Q is equal
Sorry,
to...
doctor.
Yeah.
On the slide number 26.
Yeah. Sorry, what?
On above slide, where you came from.
Here.
Yeah. Here you said in a constant is equal to beta is plus or minus 1.
It is plus. If alpha plus beta is greater than 1, you can say this is increasing return to scale. It means the output is increasing. And when you say decreasing return to scale, that means alpha plus beta should be less than 1. Should be less than 1. Okay. And it is constant when alpha plus beta. So I'm using my hand. That's why it's not seen well. I'm using the iPad.
Okay, doctor.
So what I'm trying, you can see this example here. If you are given, for example, this equation, let's say in numbers, let's say this is a half, and this is what? Let's say 1 over what? Over 4. And then I ask you, what is this decreasing return to scale or increasing return to scale? What you have to do, this is your alpha. Let's say this is your alpha, and this is your beta, right? So just take alpha plus beta is equal to what? Let's say a half plus what? 1 over 4. Unapata ngapi? Ukijumlisha hizo za juu, what you get?
3/4.
Unapata 3 over
3/4.
So is alpha plus beta greater or less than 1?
Is less than 1.
Less than 1, right? Because it is 3 over 4. Means there is what?
Decreasing.
Decreasing return to what?
To scale.
Yeah, there is decreasing return to what? To scale. So that's how we can. Or what if you know whether there is a decreasing return to scale just based on those exponents. Sawa? Unaweza ukajua hapa kuna ongezeko au kuna kitu ambacho kiko sawa. So take note of if alpha plus beta is greater than 1, that means what? There is increasing what? Return to scale. And if alpha plus beta is less than 1, that is what?
A decrease.
And if is equal to 1, there is what? This is a Cobb-Douglas production what? Function. So, for example, if I double the number of inputs from here, by looking here, is this increasing or decreasing? Kwa mfano, what happens? Assume just forget about calculation. That means here there is what?
Increasing.
Increasing because 0.2 plus 1 is obvious greater than what? Or here by increasing return to what? To scale. This is 1.2. So increasing return to scale. So we know that any positive value a plus I was trying to compute there, like in the essence ni kupata kitu kama hicho. do you see this example here? This is kind of seminar questions. Na kumbuka hili swali tulishalifanya kule juu. Sinaona? You remember this question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hii question was sijaandika lakini it was there. Sawa? You can just take this real question. Ukalipeleka kule juu. Sawa? Q was given 2L plus 0.4L squared. Nadhani we have already done this kind of question. Sawa? What is the firm marginal product? Okay, now can you compute the marginal product here? We can just do it by ourselves. Now let's see. What is the total product? Total product amekwambia Q ni ngapi? Q is equal to, unaweza mkantajia hapo? 2L plus C
0.4L square
and then minus V
0.002 L square.
L cubic.
What are we required to find? Tunaambiwa tutafute marginal product of what? There is marginal product of labor and there is marginal product of what? Of capital. So what is the marginal product of labor? Manake here we have to differentiate Q with respect to what? To L, not K. Hakuna K hapo kwanza. So what should we do now? Differentiate this one by one, kwa sababu this is a separate. Kuna 2L, there is 0.4, sawa? There is 0.02 L cubic, sawa? Starting from here, how do you differentiate this one? Sawa? We are differentiating with just yellow, sawa? Kwa maana yake mbili itabaki. Then hapa juu kuna moja. We don't write one here, sawa? Kwa maana yake L 1 minus 1 minus 1 yeah. Moja unaeleza huku. Manake any number 1 minus 1 is 0. Any number power 0 is what?
1. Is 1.
Kwa hiyo 1 times 2 manake hapa tutabakisha 2 tu, sawa?
Yeah.
Pamoja. Alafu then come to differentiate this one. This is plus. If you differentiate this 2 square utaileta hapa kwenye 0.4 unaizidisha. Sawa? Manake to be 0. what?
0.8.
0.8 L.
No, because 2 minus 1 is what?
1.
1, right? Then come to minus. 3 should come here, right? Because 0.1. 0.6 L square.
Square, yes.
So that is the marginal product of what? Of labor. Another question. Anakwambia what is the firm's average product? Nadhani hiyo haina shida. Just take the total product. Sawa? Ngoja tufanye hivi. Average product is equal to what? Total product divided by what? By L. Sawa, what is the total product? Ndio ile. Total product sameshatupa, si ndio hiyo? So just 2.4 plus 0.4L square minus 0.002 cubic. Then divide by what? By L. You get average product. Hapa itakuwa ni 2 sababu L divide by L is 0, sawa? Plus what? 0.4 L moja na baki, sawa? Minus 0.002 L. That is the average what? That's the average product. Now, the question is, number 3, in which region of production is the firm operating? So, the firm is operating in which region? Ndio zile computation zilizokuwa nazifanya. Sawa. Kwanza marginal product ni hapa tumeshaipata. Sawa. Average product, we got this one, right? Everything's there. Kwa sababu you will divide it by. Sasa in which region will they operate? You have to show. Lazima to compute zile L ikiwa less than 1, ikiwa less than L, you remember that calculation. Stage ya kwanza, this is stage 1, sawa? You have to show those stages. You remember? Alafu ya pili ilikuwa ni 100, sawa? Is less than what?
1
Less than 135.8 and the end of stage 2. Alafu stage 3 ilikuwa L greater than what? 135. You remember that one? Those are the stages. Are we together?
Sorry, sir. So
Yep.
mimi niko nafikiri kwamba tulikuwa tunasema kwamba hapa kwenye average, let's make the average product is equal to marginal product. Hapa mimi umeniacha kidogo. Hiyo ulivyosema tuna differentiate hapa.
So wapi?
Hapa kwenye kusema kwenye question ambayo nasema ni wapi firm ita in which
hilo kwenye hilo swali
in which region production is the firm operating. Kama mimi nikajua tunaenda compete average product is equal to marginal product.
Of course, si ndio tulichokifanya. Nimejaribu tu kusummarize kwa sababu region stages anakuuliza in which region of production is the firm operating. Kwa mfano, now you know exactly, sawa? Stage 1 labor wanatakiwa less than 100, sawa? Lakini umekuja stage 2, tumeona ile range from 100 to 138, alafu thereafter greater than 135, manake kuna nini? Una operate loss. All regions that the firm operate lazima iwe ni less than 135. Ina maana inatakiwa irange kuanzia pale kwenye 100 lakini isizidi 134. Sawa? Ngoja nafikiri tumeijibu hapa. Ukirudi huko kwenye hizi slide hapa. Wapi? Ngoja sio kama tumeelezea. Ngoja. Nilijaribu kuelezea hapa. Kwa mfano hapa. Sawa, you see this summary. Kwa firm inaweza kaoperate kuanzia hapa, hapa sinaendelea kuongezeka na hapa inaendelea kuongezeka. Lakini at the end of the day, these are all operations. Kwa sababu swali anakuambia in which regions the firm operates. Maanake there is operation here as well. Sawa. Regardless of level 1, but we still employ people. Sawa. Lakini hata hii level 2 stages we are operating. Sawa. Lakini you can just give me an economic interpretation. You don't need to employ more than what? I will tell you employ more than 138 people. Lakini the region that the firm should operate lazima iwe less than kuanzia 135.
Recording in progress.
Sawa? Kwa sababu wewe ukienda zaidi ya 100 you are creating what? Jackson, try to mute please. If you employ more than 135, actually the 135.8, actually you are creating a loss. You get my point. Operation ziko maeneo kuanzia stage 1 mpaka stage what? Stage 2. Thereafter you don't need to employ more people. Umenipata? Jackson?
Yes, sir. So let's back to the question. Then you are
the question.
Differentiating.
What is the question? Wait. I'm trying to find that question. Yeah, the question was, in which region of a production is the firm operating? Now I ask you, which region is the firm operating? Jackson.
I'm good, Grace. I'm good, Grace.
Why are you going crazy? I just want to hear you. Which region is a firm operating? Because we are talking about operation here, right? We are not talking about which region is maximizing profit or is making a loss. Just the operation.
So that's a question. That's the point you're confusing me.
Okay. Now you are
Production,
right.
operation, and
Yeah, the
output
operation
is.
could be stage 1 and stage 2, except
Okay.
in stage 3, because after stage 3 you'll be creating a loss. Kwa sababu hata stage 1 bado you are operating. You get my point?
Okay.
Bado naajiri, bado nafanya nini, sawa? Lakini there is a point where we will compute the maximum level of what? Production, sawa, ambayo which is required. But for now, just take note of where those stages, sawa, of what? Of operation. Sawa. Even in stage 1 we are operating, even in stage 3 we are operating, sawa. But we should employ not more than 135 what? Okay, now let us proceed. Do we need to have a break like 5 minutes?
Excuse me, doctor.
Yeah.
Excuse me, doctor. I have a question. Hello?
Yeah, I hear you. You can just.
Okay, I have two questions. First question, ni nini ambacho kinasababisha hata kama number of labor ikiongezeka production inakuwa haizidi, kwa mfano 135 masikosei.
Sawa.
La kwanza. La pili, in the field, in real world, kwamba kama manager ukiangalia katika swali letu nimepewa equation ya kunisaidia kujua number of laborers ambao natakiwa kuhire ili kupata hiyo maximum output.
Ndio.
Sasa ninapokuwa labda kama manager nimeanza production au nimelaunch kiwanda, nafanyaje ili kujua, sababu sina equation ya kuniguide kufanya hizo computation kujua total ni hii, MPL ni hii, yani nafanyaje kutengeneza equation ili kuniguide, yani inatoka wapi hiyo equation?
The live equation ambayo itakuguide.
Yeah.
Sasa actually kwanza the best thing you have to get the knowledge first, sawa? Because here we are talking about the short run production, sawa? When we are talking about short run production, tumejaribu kuemploy kitu kinaitwa fixed asset, sawa? Fixed asset. I just want to give you yani nikupe mfano tu katika in a normal life. Sawa? Kwa mfano, yani concern yako nimeielewa kwamba sasa utatumia model ipi. For example, you have a land like 1 acre, au tuseme una 10,000, we have just 10 acres. So you need to cultivate, let's say you need to cultivate what? Maize. A good example. Having known that kind of that magnitude or the size of the land, at least you have a base, sawa? Lakini pia hizi knowledge za kiuchumi nadhani zitakuwa kama zinakuguide. Kwa mfano, you may know exactly the capacity of what? Capacity of that land. Kwa mfano, ukienda kwa wataalamu wa kilimo, wanaweza wakakwambia eka 10 inaweza kukupa capacity ngapi? Let's say inaweza kuzalisha kiwango fulani. That is the maximum. It's obvious, sawa? Lakini sasa wewe, what you need, you have to be very careful basing on that capacity, on that fixed asset. Sawa? Katika hiyo ardhi, manake unapoajiri, unapofanya nini, lazima urely kwenye hizo base. But the thing here, creating the model that will guide you, it's another task ambayo unatakiwa sasa uformulate kama ni ardhi na nini. Lakini what needed here, just rely on these models ambazo nimekupa mimi. Sawa? Kama hizi na nini, just for the concept. Kwa sababu ukisema nitafanya nini kwenye model, kwa kweli it's another thing here. Like what I'm trying to say, in the production we have some stages. There is stage 1, there is stage 2, and there is what? Stage 3.
Excuse me doctor.
Naam.
Hatuwezi kutumia, kuna mfano mmoja ambao nilisikia sehemu ili understanding ya kawaida kwamba kwa take example, kwa mfano na short run is kama jikoni tuseme, watu wanafanya kazi pale, kuna mama, kuna binti, labda ana binti labda watatu nne tuseme, unakuta sasa kwenye kupika na shule ya jikoni ziweze kwenda vizuri, inaweza kaa iko peke yake, akaongeza mtu wa kumsaidia, akaona kazi labda inaendelea, akaongeza mtu watatu, akaona kazi inaendelea, akaongeza mtu wa nne, akaona mbona afika point ya product, yani ya kufanya kazi vizuri, akiongeza watano, anaona kama vile watu wamejaa, na sasa hapa ni point ambayo akasema watu wengine waondoke. Sasa hii ndio point ambayo unakuta ndio hiyo ambayo labda natumia finishing marginal return, kwamba hapa kwenye hii point kuna na uzoefu kwamba labda leo nimefanya, kesho nimefanya, unaweza kugundua kwamba wakiwa watu watatu tunafanya kazi vizuri kuliko wakiwa watu wanne. Kwa hiyo mwisho kumbe ni watu watatu. Sina haja kuongeza nne.
Sasa yani something which is very complex. Hiyo ni mfano mzuri sana. Lakini kitu ambacho ni complex, how do you, yani swali la John ni tunatumia model hivi ambayo wewe itakuguide. Umempata?
Yeah.
Was that a question, John?
Yes. Yani unafahamu mfano watu wafanyakazi 1000. Okay, kwa mfano watu wawili watatu sawa. Wafanyakazi 1000 yani ili
kama mchumi wewe mwenyewe unaweza ukatengeneza hata model yako based on this. Kwa mfano you can just create my Q, that is my output. Sawa? Labda ukasema my L is now my labor. Sawa? And let's say my L square, my what and what. You just can do it in a simple way. Sawa, unaweza kuweka model yako, lakini what is needed, you need to have data. Sawa? Kwa mfano labor, wewe mwenyewe unajua labor, wafanyakazi wako initially, let's say sijaajiri, lakini what you need now, you have to identify your investment cost. Sawa? Kwa mfano kama nilipokupa mfano, this is a short run. You have a land. Sawa? Ile ardhi lazima uivalue. Sawa? Kama ni milioni moja, just document it. My value of this land is 1 million. Sawa? Alafu wafanyakazi wako kama alivyotoa mfano la Jabu, mfanyakazi wa kwanza 1, wa pili 2, wa tatu 3, wa 4, something like that. You get my point? Lakini output ambayo wewe unaipata, you have to show it in the table. Sawa? Nadhani these are just normal things in your life. You can just create a table, sawa, a kind of model. Manake hapo utaweka labor, sawa, thamani ya ardhi yako, utaweka amount of labor una employ. You can just put output, total output. Manake different at every stage you have to indicate the output you are producing. You get me, John, right? Kwa manake
yes, right.
Hata 4, 5, 6, 7 hata kama ni ya miaka 10 au 7 hivi, at least you can have a picture. So, and that can be a model as well. So, kwa sababu data si unazo, kama wewe utajiri, tutajua sasa hivi ni majiri wa 4, wa 3, wangapi, output ya wale wa 3 utaidokumenti, ya wa 4, wa 5, wa 6. At the end of the day you can get the marginal product, you can get something like that as a daily life. So, the thing here is just documentation. Ndio maana tunaambiwa kila unachokifanya you have to document it. Manake ukishaweka data zako vizuri, you can compute it and you can know exactly I'm getting the marginal return now is 0 or is -1, or you can easily understand which stage of production am I now based on those statistics you have.
Huo mfano Dr. sasa hivi umeeleweka at least.
Yeah. Can we proceed please? Au tupate break kama dakika 5 hivi.
Yes.
Pate break kidogo mali.
Okay, 5 minutes. Tutaingia dakika 50 hapa. Sawa.
Sawa dokta.
Okay.
Tuliosoma sheria tuna kazi hapa.
Ukimya wa leo mzuri sana.
Leo ndio nimekumbuka nani mambo
mwisho.
Natoa tuition jamani. Natoa tuition.
Jamani, tuition yaani kwenye hili niko tayari kuingia tuition.
Karibu.
Mliambiwa 30,30 nyie macho yakawatoka. Sasa twende na maswali haya.
Mwacha endelee
Tuition
kufundisha wapi?
30 nahusika hapa.
Hata hesabu ya urefu mtu unasahau cubic, utafuta cubic ya 800 per square.
Mwendo wa marginal product sijui anga nini.
Hivi calculator tunaruhusiwa kutumia nazo kwenye mtihani?
Kwa kweli hapana.
Alafu mifano yote ipo kwenye kitabu.
Jamani, wenye nguvu ya kununua kitabu.
Tena kile kitabu ameisha step by step, very simple.
Kitabu kinapatikana wapi?
Kinasikia kupe namba za kulipia.
Sawa.
Mnaweza kuchukua kitabu jamani, mchukue ili dokta awe anaona mzigo huko umepungua, watu wanaelewa kwenye kitabu chako.
Jamani, mlipewa link ile.
Mlipewa namba yako kwenye chat hapo, tuchukue namba yako bwana, tukusumbue kidogo.
Jamani, naombeni anayerekodi atusaidie, yani mimi network leo imenigomea kabisa.
Alafu dada, nilikuwa nataka niongee na wewe hapa.
Ndio.
Hao vijana Rajabu hapa naongea. Hao vijana hao inabidi uliwatumia link, lakini ile link ile.
Unaongea Rajabu, unaongea na CR au na mimi?
Wewe.
Okay, sawa.
Naitumia.
Link ipi?
Sila ile ya nani ile ya discussion yetu.
Ya kampo.
Yeah.
Yaani nakwambia leo mimi nimeona mahesabu yamechanganyika mpaka nimemkumbuka kampo. Itabidi nitakurudia kule kwenye group.
Haina shida.
Maana leo
Leo group mtunge na sio bwana.
Tutakupa link unalipia, lakini jamani, maana kipindi kile nilituma kwenye group ile lingine wakaanza watu hizi linki za kulipia, ikabidi tuache kwanza. Nafikiri
tuma link hata hapa kwenye chat tuna nini.
Haina shida mwanangu, nitawatumia. Mambo yameshachachamaa hapa. Yaani
mambo haya yameshakaba kooni.
Mimi nimejoin link nikajua nimepoteza.
Siara, tunaomba ushare namba yako hapa bwana, kuna moja muhimu.
Wapendwa, kipindi kimeisha. Hello.
Kimeisha tayari.
Tuko break ya dakika 5.
Tupo break.
Kama hujui kipindi kimeisha kijaisha, zile hesabu umezikuta kweli?
Hata ningezikuta nisinge, yani hata nilipokuwa nisingeweza, hata ningeweza
hujapoteza chochote. Fatma, hujapoteza chochote. Hujapoteza chochote Fatma.
Nilikuwa kwenye meeting nyingine, kwa hiyo nisingeweza kufanya chochote.
Utajoin sasa hivi, anaanza soon.
Sawa.
Jamani, watu wa data arrange physical meeting kabla hizi hesabu hazijachangamka zaidi. Kule kwenye group, admin achia group kwa muda.
Kwa taifa Mwalimu Nyerere aliniambia hivi. Leo asaba.
Paulo kata video, Paulo zima video.
Wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania.
Hello. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello,
Yes.
Doctor.
Hello.
Hello. Can we proceed, please?
Yeah, we can go on, Doctor.
Okay, it's all right. Do you see the slide?
Yeah, we see.
Yes, we see it.
Okay, now let us proceed. Yeah. There are some questions here, but you can do it by yourself. They are very simple. Okay, now let's see the long run. That one was the short run production. What the difference? When you talk about the long run, here we are considering two variables. The long run refers to a period of time in which all factors of production can be varied. That means the factors of production can change. Okay? For example, in the short run, we saw that, for example, if you use the capital, land, sometimes those are fixed. But in the long run, those factors of production may change. So, kwa mfano, if you employ, let's say, if you use land, sometimes due to technology and other factors, that means those factors of production may change. If you, let's say you use capital, let's say machine, sometimes those machines can change due to some factors. So, kwa sababu in the long run, there are so many variations. There are so many factors influencing that kind of what? Production. So when we talk about long run, there is accumulations of factors that lead to change of those fixed factors. So firms always seeking to maximize what? Profit. Always firms are seeking to maximize the profit. What does this mean? Therefore, they are attempting to produce their choice level of output by employing combination of capital and the labor that minimizes production costs, or they aim to maximize what? Output. Or you are producing higher at a very low what? At a low cost. So you can see this kind of illustration. Sasa normally when we talk about long run, kuna vitu ambavyo we will discuss. There is ISO quantity and there is ISO cost line. Sasa hizi tuangalie kwanza, what does it mean before other things. Unaposema ISO quantity, this is a curve. Yani we'll see kind of drawing. Kwa mfano unapochora ile michoro, hii ni curve ambayo it shows the combination. It shows all possible combination of input. Those factors of production. For example, if you use the labor, you use the capital, that means this curve normally show that combination of factor inputs that are used to produce what? Output at the same levels. Kwa mfano, hebu angalia hii hapa. For example, if you see this curve here, sorry. Ukiangalia this kind of what? This kind of graph, we have two curves here. We have Q1 and we have what? Q2. These are the levels. For example, this Q1 is the level of output. We have different levels of output or different level of production. Kwa mfano, we can produce at this level. We can produce at this level. We can produce at this level. We have different levels. Kwa hiyo tuna hiyo Q1 curve and we have Q2. What does it mean? If you want to produce at this level, let's say this is out labor, this is capital. Kwa maana hiyo we have employed labor and the capital to produce a certain level of output. Here, let's say QB. In order to produce QB, you need a certain quantity of capital and you need a certain level, that is L1, to produce level B. And in order to produce C, that means you have to employ level 2 of labor and you have to employ K1. So we have different levels of production, different combination, producing the same what? Output, the same output. That output, we call it Q what? Q1. likely even in Q2, we are producing different combination, different output using combination of labor and the capital, producing the same Q2, the same quantity. Manake all this point you are producing what? Q2. Now, what do we say about the ISO quantity? ISO quantity, this is a curve that shows all possible combination of input that produces the same level of what? The same level of output. Manake, it shows the different combination of labor and the capital which firms can produce at a specific quantity of output. As you've seen this graph. Well, these are two curves. We have this one Q1 and this same level means this is same level of Q1 and this is same level.
Yeah.
Grace, mute please. Okay. Now let's see. At point B, as I'm trying to explain, this represents just one possible combination of capital and labor. Likely, even they are producing all Q1. Ile B1, this one. At this point, you are producing Q1. At this point, also we are producing what? Q1. The same level of Q1, but different quantity of what? Factor input. Kwa mfano hapa, ili to produce B1, B, quantity B here, we need L1, we need K2. If you need to produce Q1 at this level, we need, something like that. Or this curve here, we call it ISO quantity. This also is ISO quantity. The curve showing combination of two factor input producing the same level of what? The same level of output. This Q2 also is ISO quantity curve showing different level of production using two factor what? Combination of two factor input, but the same level of what? Output, which is Q2. So it is like that. Now, what is the properties? What is the properties of ISO quantity? ISO quantity ina sifa moja, ina sifa tatu. One, ISO quantity can never intersect. For example, because we are producing the same output, this curve cannot intersect with the other. Like, kwa mfano, hawezi ukakuta hizi zina intersect because they are producing. If they intersect, manake zita produce different what? Output. So one factor, the ISO quantity can never intersect. It should produce a specific quantity of output. For example, if Q1 is just deal with Q1, na ile Q2 ina produce Q1 at different levels. Tumeona. Lakini another properties, the ISO quantity. ISO quantities are negative sloped. When you say negative sloped, it is sloping from left to right, downward from left to right. In a slope down left to right, like this. Inakwenda, so it is sloping down like this. That is another property. Another one, the third, ISO quantity are convex to the original. Convex to the original, what does it mean? They do not intersect. Ndio hiyo hapa nijaribu kuelezea. This Q1 cannot intersect. If they intersect, that is not ISO quantity. They are separate. Lakini when you say ISO quantity are what? Convex to the original, what does it mean? Manake ni kwamba if you, at this level, for example, at A, you produce, in order to produce at point A, you need the combination of K3 and K what?
Excuse me, doctor. Excuse me, doctor. Samani, screen yako unaweza ukairub, inaonekana na mistari mingi.
Na mistari.
Ya previous.
Yeah.
Let me.
Nadhani kuna shida. Ngoja ni nani?
Kuna mtu amechora hizi.
Yeah, anatumia nani hapa? Pointer, power pointer. That's why ngoja. Ina disrupt hapo. Kama iwasumbui inaweza nikaendelea kwa sababu hapa natakiwa ni share tena.
Ungeendelea tu.
It's okay.
Proceed doctor.
Proceed, doctor.
Naweza disrupt kila kitu hapa. Lakini what I'm trying to say, we have different points here. We are producing A at point B, we are producing at point what? At point C, right? Sasa, if you want to shift from this point A to point B, you need to reduce some of the capital unit. Sawa? Yani manake ukitaka kuhamia kwenye B kuzalisha at level B, you need to reduce the quantity of what? Of capital from K3 to K what? K1. But you have to increase the amount of labor from L1 to L what? Likely, if you want to produce at level 3, you need to reduce the amount of what? Capital from K2 to K1 and increase the amount of what? Sasa tunaposema convex, manake una trade off. One, when you reduce the amount of capital, you have to increase the certain level of what? Of output. Or it is like that. Kwa hiyo, when you say convex, this means the unit of capital are given up. So, successively bigger quantity of labor must be employed to keep the output level unchanged. This makes isoquantity convex. Note that the slope of the isoquantity is sometimes called the marginal rate of technical substitution. It refers to the amount of capital that firm can give up by increasing the amount of labor by 1 unit and still remain at the same what? Isoquantity. Yani manake, sometimes this one we call a technical rate of what? Substitution. Manake the amount of capital, that means you have to increase a certain level of what? Of labor. But you are producing the same what? The same level of what? Of output. All this one are Q1. Hapo una produce Q, hapo una produce Q, una produce Q. But different what? Factor input. But there is some factor must be given up. Are we together? ISO quantity. Lakini when you say about ISO cost line, this is a line that combines all the combination of
excuse me doctor.
The same, yeah.
Kabla hujaingia kwenye ISO cost, ningeomba mifano hata miwili kwenye ISO quantity. Tuone jinsi ambavyo capital na labor zinavyokuwa zina relate ku maintain number of products output.
Okay. Sasa hapa na hii mistari yangu hapa. Okay, fine. Sasa what we can do, ngoja nifanye hivi. Na tujaribu kufanya for example, you may create like a table, sawa? Like a table. Okay? Let's say this is labor, because we are two combination of what? Two combination of what? Of factor input. Alafu let's say this is the output. Naweza tukasema ni cube. Sawa? Labda tuseme capital hapa ni 4. Sawa? Let's say wafanyakazi labda wako 5. Let's say here is 5. Let's say here is 6. I'm just taking an example because we are talking about two combination of factor input. Hapa labda ni 10, let's say here is 20, something like that, na kuendelea. Labda hapa ni 6, labda hapa ni 7, hapa labda ni 30, something like that. Nachotaka kusema sasa sweet. Ngoja. Nichotaka kusema what? Ngoja. No, let us. Yani, John, can we rely just on this example? Ngoja kwenye hii table hapa. Combination. Tulai kwenye hii table yetu hapa, sawa? Just consider this figure. For instance, you are producing, tuseme, what kind of commodity? Let me ask, what kind of product you want to produce? For example, labda tuseme
magunia ya unga.
Labda tuseme wheat flour, sawa? Wheat flour. This Q1 is the ISO quantity representing wheat flour production, right? But in order to produce wheat flour, you need to employ labor, and then also you need to employ what? You need to have capital, two combination of output. So, but there is different levels of what? Combination. At this position, at this position, and at this what? Position, right? But there is the same wheat flour. The same what? Yani manake this curve is just for wheat flour. That's why we call it an ISO quantity. Producing the same output, but a different level of what? Combination. Ya factor what? Factor input. What I'm trying to say, there is what? Marginal rate of technical substitution here. In order to produce, for example, previously you are here. Kwa mfano hapa, ukitaka kuzalisha wheat flour at level 8, you need, let's say, hapa labda tuseme mashine 2 au tuseme mashine 5 za kuzalisha, sawa? Lakini hapa unahitaji watu 2, si ndio maana? Watu 2, mashine ngapi? 5. Okay. Let's say here there is 5 and here is what? Hapa 2. Sasa in order to shift from this position to B, manake you have to reduce, lazima upunguze mashine ili uweze kuongeza nini? Uongeze wafanyakazi. You get it? Lakini manake here there is 5 point hapa, combination hapa ni ngapi? Wait. So at this point A there is hapa manake kuna 2, hapa kuna ngapi? Kuna 5. Manake hapa itakuwa ni 4, alafu hapa itakuwa ngapi? Itakuwa 3. Manake umepunguza kutoka 5 umeenda 4, lakini umeongeza mfanyakazi wapi? Umeongeza mfanyakazi 1 kutoka kwenye ngapi? Kwenye 2 umeenda 3. That is the essence. But you are producing the same wheat flour, but different what? Combinations. Are we together?
Okay, unamaanisha the same number, kwa mfano gunia 100 au the same product?
The same kind of product.
Kujua.
The same kind of product, but different combination of what? The same output. I'm talking about the output.
Number for quantity.
Yeah, quantity, right? But different combinations of what? Of factor input. But when you consider about factor input, ndio kuna issue you have to give up some of the, lakini ulilai kwenye the same what? Output. You get it? Hata ukiangalia definition ya, even if you consider that definition of what? ISO quantity, I think you have seen it. It is a curve that shows all possible combinations, but all possible combination of inputs that produce the same level. The same level of what? The same level of output. Sawa.
Dr. Samani.
Yeah.
Kwa hiyo hapo unamaanisha kama gunia zilikuwa zinatoka 100 kwa level 5, ukapunguza mashine 1 na ukaongeza labor, gunia zitakuwa zile zile, lakini
the same product.
Kwa si ndio unamaanisha?
Yeah, the same level ndio unamaanisha hivyo of output.
Sawa kabisa, nimekuelewa. Asante.
Sawa. That was ISO quantity. Sawa. ISO quantity curve. But kwa ISO cost curve tunaongelea the same level of cost. Tutaangalia. Tunatumia output lakini tuna consider not out. We are using input, combination of inputs, but what our focus is what? Cost. Kwa kuna vitu viwili hapo. Ngoja tuangalia cost lines. ISO cost, these are what? This is a line au ni curve that shows all a combination of input, labor, capital, but that produce what? That have the same what? Total cost. Hapa tunaangalia total cost. Tunaangalia combinations ya labor and the capital ambazo zina rely kwenye the same what? The same cost. You get it? An ISO cost line shows combination of labor, capital that firm can afford given a fixed total what? Cost. Sawa? Kwa mfano, it's a kind of a budget constraints au nitumie hiyo neno. Sawa? Manake, yani kwa mfano kama gharama ina rely hapo, wewe sasa inabidi ucheze kama ni uajiri wa ngapi, kama ni mashine ngapi, ili uweze kurely kwenye the same one. Kama target yako labda iwe ni gharama isizidi $1,000,000, manake kama ni kuajiri, kununua capital, it needs this W is wage. Sawa? This L is a number of what? Labor. Manake you have to take the number of labor times what? How much do you pay them? If you are buying, let's say, a machine, the machine times that price of the machine, ukizijumlisha lazima iwe kwenye ile budget constraints yako, what we call an ISO cost line. Ni kama kule ambako tulikuwa tunaangalia kwenye ISO quantity. Do you get it? Yani kwa mfano, for instance, Mr. John, your budget constraints, the total cost au budget ile constraints yako, nadhani you get it. Unataka isizidi labda $10,000,000. Manake you have to rely on that budget ambayo sasa itakuwa presented na ile, this is a kind of what? Yani unatakiwa usivuke huu mstari huu. Sawa? Unatakiwa urely cost yako rely hapa. Manake ngoja tuone hapa kama sijafika huko. Yeah, are we together here so far? Are we communicating? Hello?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, doctor.
Okay, sasa kwa mfano, sawa. Now, ngoja nifanye. Wait. Kwa mfano, sawa. Let's say I don't need to employ let's say labor. Sawa. Manake labda nataka mimi ni deal na nini? Assume let's say my L sitaji kuajiri watu. Sawa. Let's say my L is 0. What could be the capital, amount of capital? Katika ile formula inasemaje? Inasema ni, mnaweza mkanitajia? Assume L is 0. Tumesema cost ni sawa sawa na LK plus W what? L, right?
Yeah.
So that means C must be LK, right? Just make K the subject ili tupate kujua idadi ya capital itakuwa ngapi. You divide by what? By R. Kwa maana hiyo my K will be capital, total cost divided by what? By R. You get it? Likely hata nikisema labda K iwe 0. Manake from C is equal to RK plus WL. Manake itaisha, sawa? So my L will be what? C divided by what? By W. Sawa? Kwa ndo manake, that's why I'm showing this curve. This is capital, amount of capital lazima iwe ni C divided by what? By R. Assume labor is what? Is 0. Lakini on the other side, labor itakuwa ni C divided by W. If K is what? Is 0. Oh, my cost should rely katika hii mistari ya. Sawa? That was Sasa there is another thing which is very important. So if I need to end up this session around 7:30. So if it, just let me know ikifika saa moja na nusu to end up there. Let us finalize here this point of maximization output subject to financial constraint. So a producer equilibrium occur where an ISO quantity tangent to the ISO cost. Sasa what I'm trying to say, this is what hapa kuna labor, this is what capital, this is kwa mfano, this is my, tulisema hii inaweza ikawa ni Q, sawa, ISO quantity. ISO cost ikiwa tangent manake if the ISO cost is tangent to what, zikiwa somewhere hapo ndo tunaweza tuka maximize what, tuka maximize profit. If the ISO is tangent to the ISO quantity, manake hapo tunafanya kitu kinaitwa profit maximization. So a producer equilibrium occur where the ISO quantity is tangent to the ISO cost, and the ISO quantity must be convex to the original. Lakini what is important there is just this condition here. Is just this condition. Just this condition. Tunasema marginal rate of technical substitution. Manake, you remember when I was trying to explain a bit about marginal technical rate of substitution, you have to forego some of the, for example, if you reduce the amount of capital, unatakiwa uongeze amount of what? Of labor. Sawa. Kwa marginal technique of substitution, manake ni sawa sawa na kufanyaje? This is equal to wage, au tuseme is equal to K divided by what? By L. Sawa. But here kama ni marginal rate of technical substitution, tunataka to substitute labor to what? To K. So, ngoja niendelee. Kwa nini K over L, what is K? Kwenye ile equation yetu.
Capital.
Yes, capital.
K ilikuwa ni C over what?
R. Okay.
Ilikuwa ni
R. C over R.
And what is L? L yangu ilikuwa ni
C over W.
C over W, sio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Za kugawanya tunazielewa.
Inageuka.
Fraction itakwenda. Manake at the end of the day, marginal rate of technical substitution itakuwa ni W over what? Over R. Ndio condition ambayo unaweza ku maximize what? Profit. Are we together? Ambayo ndio hichi hapa kitu hichi hapa. Okay?
Okay.
Sawa. Manake I'm just driving from this one here. Sawa. This lakini pia but also marginal rate of technical substitution ya labor capital. Manake when you say marginal rate technical substitution labor capital, we are substituting labor to capital. Hii kwa maana nyingine, kwa tafasiri, you have to take marginal product over L divided by marginal product of what? Of K. Sawa. Are we together?
Yeah.
Kwa hiyo manake ni kwamba marginal product of labor divided by marginal product of capital should be equal to wage divided by what?
By R.
Yeah, this should be kept in your mind. So this should be kept in your mind. Let's see an example here. This will be the last example for today. Kwa mfano, assume a firm has a production function that one. Sawa? Ngoja tuifanye pamoja. Production amesema ni K power F the L power what? Alafu anasema subject to the total cost. C is equal to what? Ametupa gharama is how much? 100. Now what you are supposed to do? Anakwambia where input wage is what? Is 4. Manake huu ni mshahara wa nani? Wa labor, sawa? Lakini rental rate for capital R is what? Is 1. Hii ni capital. You get it, yeah? Yeah. So what should we do now? Tunaweza tukatengeneza total cost function, sawa? Cost tunasema is what? Is wage au tuseme ni R times the capital plus what? Wage times L. You remember this one, eh? Manake sisi hii ndo budget, hii ndo cost, ISO cost. You remember this? Are we together?
Yeah.
Yes.
Manake cost ameshatuambia ni 100, sawa? Cost ametuambia ni 100. This is our constraints. Lakini what is R? R ilikuwa ni 1. So 1 K is K. What is wage? Wage ni 4. Si ndio hivyo? Yeah. Wafanyakazi 4. Lakini what is our equation? Equation yetu amesema ni K power L alafu L power what? You remember? Swali anasemaje? What is the question? The question is find the optimal level of capital and the labor that maximize what? The question is we are supposed to find the level of the amount of labor we need to employ and the amount of capital that will maximize what? The output. Manake we maximize output na kureduce the cost of what? You know the condition. Tunasema condition ya profit maximization, marginal product of labor over marginal product of capital is equal to what? R divided by what?
By R.
That's why I'm telling you, keep in your mind this one. So, what are we supposed now to find here is just to find the marginal. You have to find the marginal product of labor and you have to find the marginal product of what? Of capital. So, kwa kuwa tayari W, we are having a W now. Is tunayo. This is 4, sio? And this is what?
1.
Oh, yeah. What we are supposed to do is just to find what? Just to find the marginal product of labor. So, that's you remember what our Q? Q ni K per half L per what? Manake you have to differentiate with respect to what? Una differentiate ile Q with respect to L in order to get the marginal product of labor. So, sasa ukidifferentiate hapa, what do you get? Manake you keep constant this one. So, you differentiate this one. Si ndio?
Yeah.
Kwa utaweka nusu hapa, alafu K inabaki kama ilivyo. But my L should be minus what?
1. Negative. Yeah.
You get it. Now what we are supposed to find? Marginal product of capital. So, ni ngapi? Our Q is K power half L power what? Kwa hiyo marginal product here you have to differentiate Q with respect to what? To K. You have to constant this one. Kwa una differentiate what? K. Hapa itakuwa ni a half K minus a half L a half, right?
Yes.
Are we together? Kwa maana yake what we are supposed to do now in the formula marginal product of capital there is W is 4 over 1, si ndo maana yake? But what is this? Tayari tumeshaipata huko juu, sio? Kwa hiyo just take this. Okay. Kwa maana yake itakuwa ni nusu K a half L minus what? A half divided by a half K power half L minus what? A half is equal to what?
Hii ya chini naona hapa ingetakiwa na negative kwenye K.
Yeah, sawa. Negative.
K negative ndo nabaki kawaida.
Yeah. Naona imecheza hapo. But yeah, you are right. Kwa maana yake at the end of the day ukija kuzisimplify utakuja kupata kitu ukija kuzisimplify vizuri mwisho kabisa. So unakumbuka this was our budget constraints, right?
Yes.
This one tumeenda pale ukija kufanya mwisho wa siku utapata K equal to 4. Sawa? Yes. So now you have hiyo 4KL unatakiwa isubstitute sasa kwenye ile equation yako ya. Remember that one. Ukisubstitute hapo you'll get, nadhani tutakuja tuendelee mwisho utapata optimal level ya output inatakiwa iwe capital hiyo hapo na kwa. Ukishapata L na K just substitute in the equation. Kwa utajua maximum level ya output unatakiwa kuzalisha and you have to know the level that will maximize that output.
Sorry sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
Hiyo a half ina replace nini?
Sorry? Pardon?
Kwenye equation pale ulikuwa unaanza na a half then K K1 2 L1 over 2. Ile a half ina represent
ile a half. Ngoja nikuonyeshe hapo. Ile a half kwa mfano this is Q. Unaiona hii? K a half L a half. You get it?
Yes.
Sasa there is two combination of output. There is K and there is L here. Kwa maana yake we have to find the marginal product kwanza ya L and we have to find the marginal product ya K. Sawa? Sasa unapotafuta marginal product ya L for instance, unatakiwa udifferentiate marginal product ya L, lazima udifferentiate ile quantity formula. Una differentiate with respect to what? To L. Sasa kwa mfano ile principle ya kudifferentiate, you remember I told you last time that kwa mfano akikupa, ngoja nikupe mfano. Let's say y is equal to ax b. Unaona hiyo ni equation labda production function. Ukiwa una differentiate labda una differentiate y with respect to what? X. Manake dy ukidifferentiate to x, hii b lazima ije wapi? Ije huku. Kwa hiyo itakuwa ni a mara b. Umeelewa? Hii b exponential lazima uilete huku, sawa? Alafu hiyo x, hiyo b ya juu lazima utoe ngapi? Utoe moja. Umeelewa? Sasa kwa mfano if you go back to that equation, equation ilikuwa ni Q is equal to K a half L a half. Sawa? Manake ni sasa ninataka nipate marginal product ya L, not K. Manake I have to differentiate just this one. So if I differentiate this one, hii K lazima ibaki kama K ibaki kama hivyo. Lakini this a half ya juu ni kama B yangu, lazima nitoe moja. Ila hii nusu inakuja wapi? Hii nije nirudishe na hii hapa. Kwa maana yake to be L a half minus 1 is what?
Negative 1.
Yeah, negative 1/2. Si ndio hiyo? Yani half minus 1 itakuwa negative. Likely for the marginal product of capital, manake ile LK ina kama ilivyo, ila EK ndio na differentiate, manake a half itakuja hapa and that a half must be deducted by 1, ndio unapata minus what, a half. Are we together?
Yes.
Yeah, oh, that was the essence. Another question. Can we end up here today?
Yes, Doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
Thank you.
It will be better.
Sorry, slide over that one you created it just in
Thank you, doctor.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, doctor.
Do you need this point right, or that one you have in the e-learning is enough, or you was just taking the notes? Wakati naandika hapa silikuwa na take notes.
Tunaomba doctor.
Do you need this slide?
Yes, doctor.
Let me
Doctor.
Ngoja ni save alafu ni share hapo.
Doctor, swali.
Ngoja ni save.
Hello.
Avila.
I want to share it in the messenger.
Yes.
Doctor.